Well, thank you for being here. We have a lovely skyline. It's kind of like being in a cruise ship, you know, over Lake Ontario here. I guess the last time we spoke was not quite a year ago when Whorehound just came out. And when Sea of Cowards was announced, it was like, really? Another album already? This is like the Beatles in the old school back in the 60s and 70s when bands would put out, you know, 2 albums a year.
We thought so. We hope you think so too.
Was it just ready and time to release another record, or was the chemistry so good that you guys just kept going, or what was it?
Yeah, we never really stopped after the first one. Started writing on the road immediately, and one of the first breaks that we had, we went into the studio and thought we'd just get a few of these ideas on tape, and it turned out so well that we ended up keeping them, and that's part of the record right there.
The first record was made at the end of everybody's tour, and you were all really kind of exhausted, and it was just like, well, I guess it came out of too much wine at the end of, you know, a tour wrap, right?
Yeah, it was sort of a 7-inch project that turned into something bigger, and it's just kept rolling like that, and all the way into this new album now. We just didn't want to stop. We didn't want to have all these in the can and say, oh, let's put it out 2-3 years from now, you know. We thought, let's do it right now. We're still touring. It'd be great to do 1-2 punch like that. None of us had done that before, and any of our bands put out 2 albums in a year, so it felt something really interesting. I'm interested in the matchup of the attention span of the internet and the digital age now matching up with music like that.
Well, let's talk about that, because I find that absolutely fascinating, because what you could be, if you were on a conventional record label, they would say, dude, you're flooding the market. You're overexposing yourself. Let it go for 2-3 years before you release something. But, you know, 10 months later, you're back in it, giving people with short attention spans more stuff to pay attention to.
It's interesting. I want, the answer's still out there, you know. I mean, when you put out what they call content now, put something on the internet, some kind of video or some live track or something, a week later, the label asks you for more content, and it's funny, it just keeps going like that. You have to keep supplying and feeding that beast because of the way the internet is. People have seen that clip already, heard that song, saw that photograph, but it's not, that's not extending itself to albums. What it ends up happening a lot of times, I think, the major labels making a big mistake is what they do is repackage an album sometimes 2-3 times by the end of the year. With extra tracks, and I think it's such a rip-off to fans. You know?
Well, Lady Gaga did it, and Justin Bieber did it, and you're basically getting people to buy the same record twice, and then maybe there's special iTunes downloads, and you have to go buy that, and maybe that comes with a package, and it's a bit weird.
Everybody, we went through that on Whorehound. Everybody wanted an exclusive thing, and you have to, if you don't give each compartment their exclusive track or something, then they punish you and they won't advertise your record or something. It's a desperate time, man. It's really strange for music.
With this record, there seems to be more of a 50-50 division of labor when it comes to vocals. Is that an accurate?
What do you mean? Sorry.
The vocals, like the duets and stuff.
Oh, in this record, there's more of that. Yeah, I don't know. That just happened, you know. We, you know, as we wrote songs, they kind of came together in that way. We never sort of talked about it or meant to do that or anything. It just seemed.
And you, well, you're out front like you're always doing. Some of your vocals are a little uninhibited.
Some of them, yes. Yeah, I mean, we never talked about in this band what we're supposed to do, who we are as a band, what our positions are. We never defined them. We still haven't defined them. We just sat behind an instrument one day. I happened to be sitting behind the drums, and it just progressed that way. That most of the time I'm the drummer. I mean, we're not a band like where we all switch instruments or like some kind of circus act on stage or anything like that. But the idea is that the 4 of us write, and if anybody has an idea to sing, if Dean sings the lead single, it doesn't really mean, it's not a mistake. It's not a, Allison's the lead singer and we can't do that. I think that's the case, you know.
That's a hell of a chemistry that must be between you guys, because to be able to be that giving and that flexible, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's why this band works, and why we've done what we've done, and the amount of time also. I think the inspiration we give each other is a great chemistry there that's keeping us going, and yeah, just even in the studio, it's, you know, it's just works really well. We all write we all sit around and you know, everyone's throwing in opinions and it all works.
What I find fascinating too, again, this goes back to sort of a larger context, is the idea of the music as an artifact. With Third Man, you have actual 7-inch singles and actual albums with special hand-drawn or very limited edition covers. Do you know how much that first 7-inch single, the one that you handed out at the party, is worth?
No, how much?
Last I saw, it's trading with collectors for $2,500 or more.
Not bad. I should have saved one.
So anything that you release in the small amounts that you release, it's typically what, 100, 150?
Every record Third Man puts out, we try to do a limited edition version of each record, whether it's tricolor vinyl or something hand painted or something like that. Usually 100 to 150 of each record. It's a nice thing because if you wanted to collect that label's records, you could you'd never really be able to finish. You know, it could be a lifelong thing. That's what I thought. You know, once the label's gone, or if it ever is one day, that there's just a plethora of things to explore down the road. We're already, I mean, we're a year and a half in. We're already on our 55th record, so that's pretty fast.
Because I went to the Rough Trade East store, and there was a bunch of Third Man 7-inch. You know, I went so far over my customs limit, and one of the ones I just love, the Dex Ron Weber duo. That's a great record.
It really is. I'd love to see that get some more college radio airplay. So he's just a real hidden genius. He's sort of hidden in plain sight. He's been there for a long time, Dex Rummer, and I think he's brilliant. He's got some sort of magic to him when he performs that you don't see in anybody else.
His sister is like I mean, she scares me the way she sings.
Yeah. She's wild, man, and she's a great drummer too.
Oh, she's a drummer.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She drums and she sings too. Backup.